Let's go to a second chart, a second examples. This is more direct example because a group of a cast member, mostly Kenyan, I mean all of them are Kenyan, both the actors, the cameraman, the director, everything are Kenyan. Basically this story is about a soccer team consisting of different tribes in Kenya. And if you don't know, Kenya has 44 tribes. And since the election of 2007, since in the early of 2008, a fight between the tribes broke out, and there's thousands of people dying because of this tribe fighting. This soap opera try to represent the diversity in the tribes. Of course, they also show how these people struggle with each other, how they need to compromise with each other, how they work together in order for them to be a strong team, for them to be able to compete in the tournament and be a strong force and probably win the competition. The purpose of the show is to show that Kenyan, they are tired of this fighting. They're tired of this tribal false pride. They wanted a peaceful life. They just want that nationality they lost because of this fighting all the time. I know this soap opera may not be a quick solution, like people will drop their machine guns and they will shake hands and they live happily ever after. No, at least the purpose of this soap opera is to create environment, peaceful environment, understanding between young people, different tribes, different sects, understanding that they need to create a peaceful environment, so therefore there will be no violence that will appear from it. Let's go to the third objective of this presentation. Let's talk about homeless soccer. By the name itself, it's about homeless people from different countries competing to win the prize as the World Cup winner. This tournament is more than just another entertainment or another way to generate money. It's more about that, because as we know, people have their judgment on homeless people. They always think like they're so lazy and they're useless and they're nothing but trouble. They're not a contributing citizen. But we never ask them, why do they become homeless? What are the reasons that make them homeless? These homeless people have low self-esteem. It's not like they want to be homeless, but this situation forced them to be homeless, and all these shape the way they're thinking, the way they act, the way they adapt to the environment, the way they react to everybody else. Because if you're homeless, you don't have any place to sleep, right? And police or people doesn't want you to sleep in front of the tent, in front of the building, or anywhere. It's just, for them, it's just a bad sight. So they try to remove this problem. But that's not the case. That's not the case. I would like to summarize the homeless soccer from this documentary movie called Kicking It. If you guys want to check it out, you can rent the movie. It's actually already out there. This homeless soccer is about giving people hope and make them believe they can achieve if they believe in themselves. It's try to make themselves proud of who they are, not look themselves as a homeless people, but when they're stepping into that field, they think they're a soccer player, and people respect that, so they can be proud of themselves. And from this experience, these homeless people will be able to change, will be able to believe in themselves, because it's starting with them believing in themselves, believing in what they can do, so they can change their life. Some people here, for example, I wanna pick one example from the documentary. There is this guy named Brandon in the movie. He's from the Team USA, and he's from New York, Bronx. He left his father's house. Their parents divorced, and he has to live with his father. But his father doesn't show the respect, doesn't show the love that he wanted it. He basically he came from an abusive family, abusive father. So he ran away, and when he was on the street, of course, the only thing that he can do is just to survival skill. He has to fight, he has to run, and that's the only thing he knows. And one time there's a selection for the Homeless World Cup, and of course he was part of the Team USA to get sent in South Africa. And in there, the first 4 game the United States played, they lost. And in each of the games, Brandon got ejected, Brandon got a red card because he was so rough. And people don't like that. After the 5th game, the team has a talk with him, and they're tired of this. They wanted to win. So in order to win, they talk to him and tell him, hey, you need to adjust. And somewhere in the process, he went to these villages in South Africa, and in there they were like treating him like a family, treating him like he's part of themselves, treating him like he's a soccer player. He's not a homeless person. And this give him a big impact on himself, for his self-esteem, and for him to feel like he's belong to a family. His teammate is his family, and he doesn't want to let them down. The only thing that he wanted was a family. His father doesn't provide them that, and his mom, of course, was separated. Basically, what Brandon wanted is just a good family, somebody who cared for him. And once he realized that, he changed. I remember in one scene when he started to play again, and people give him a hard tackle, until he fall down. Well, usually what he did, he was wake up and start a fight with that guy, but this time he completely changed. Okay? And the US ended up winning the last 2 games. Once he came back from South Africa, he tried a lot of things. He even bettered himself. He's not even homeless anymore. He held 2 jobs, and he keep in contact with his mom and his sister. This tournament really changed Brandon. It's the same thing with this. If you meet someone who is hungry, don't give him a fish, but teach him how to fish. Because if you give him a fish, tomorrow he might be hungry again. But if you teach him how to fish, he may not be hungry again. So if you can make any changes in your neighborhood, please do. Please do teach people how to fish. Thank you for your time, and this is my presentation. Thank you.